It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 817. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Thank you very much for downloading and subscribing to the show. Please visit the main website at miketechshow.com. You can email me questions and suggestions for show topics at miketechshow@gmail.com. Please visit youtube.com/Michael Smith MTS. There you will find the video recording for each week, and please click subscribe and subscribe to the YouTube videos. This show is brought to you by Instant House Call. For remote support, if you're an IT pro or an MSP, Instant House Call provides unattended and on-demand remote access. Try it free by clicking on the link on my website at miketechshow.com or go directly to instanthousecall.com, and don't forget to use the promo code MikeTechShow for your free 15-day trial. This show is also brought to you by MagnusBox. Become a partner. Go to magnusbox.com. They only sell through the channel to partners. You can try it out and experience all the same features as a paying partner to kick the tires, check it out, see that it works, and then sign up. They're HIPAA compliant. They have Office 365 backup. They do file and folder and also image backup. All cloud-based, reliable. If you contact them and mention that you heard about MagnusBox here on the Mike Tech Show, they will give you free white labeling for your company, and you'll get 50% off your first 3 months of the platform fee. Check them out, magnusbox.com. Tonight's show got a few things. I want to talk about something that I am going to definitely put in front of clients that I found on Discord in the software chat channel. Then we're going to talk about snipping tool tips. I spent time this week with 2 clients. Then I got a stack of listener emails following up on a whole bunch of things for the last couple weeks. So what I'm going to do right now is quickly mention Mortius, who's a listener and joined Discord. There is a great graphic that the time it takes a hacker to brute force your password in 2022. I love this. So if you have 8 characters, there's a chart. And then there's a link with metrics behind this. If you use 8 characters and you have a number, an upper, a lowercase, and a letter, that will take 7 minutes to hack. Now, if you did the same with 12 characters, it'll take 200 years. Think about that. Just by adding 4 characters. So, when my clients start to whine and give me a hard time about a password, I'm going to send them this graphic. Now, you're like, oh, great. You're going to have that graphic in the show notes? No, I'm not. You have to join the Discord channel for the Mike Tech Show, and in the software chat, you will see this posting, and this is one of many hardware, software topics. This is where the forums are for the Mike Tech Show, and you're going to really learn something just by reading the forums. Make sure you introduce yourself when you can click on the invite link in the show notes at miketechshow.com. When you join, which it's free to join, announce yourself. Introduce yourself just so we know you're not a robot, and then you'll be able to access all the forums. That's it. It's simple, it's free, and it's a great way to interact with all the other Mike Tech Show listeners. So thank you for Photo Ray and for my moderators over there, and especially Taz, the moderator in the chat. Phenomenal job in getting that up and running, maintaining it, and I pop in there as often as I can. So check it out. The snipping tool. This is something I think we take for granted. I definitely take for granted. When that was introduced with Windows 7, I loved it and use it all the time. And I'm going to have 3 links for tonight with some great tips on this. And one of the things that I use it for, and I just wanted to share some ideas, and one of my clients who also has to do proposals for potential clients loved this when he was asking, how can I take something from the screen and add it as a graphic? And literally twice this week it happened. So I remoted in, I scheduled a time, remoted in with him, and showed him how easy it is to launch the snipping tool. You just start typing snip on the search for Windows 10 or Windows 11, and then it will come up. So what we're going to do right now, while I'm talking about this, I am going to show my screen and show a couple things. So if you're on the video, so this is the Windows Club, and it's snipping tool in Windows 11 and 10, tips and tricks to capture screenshots. Well, first, this is the location of the snipping tool, and it's program data, Microsoft Windows, start menu, programs, accessories. There's a tip down on this page, how to make a shortcut, and then how to have a hotkey for it. So when you install this, you don't install the snipping tool. When you bring it up, you could just click new and just start snipping. But now let's take a look a little deeper. If you don't just click the new key and you click like that little down arrow beside it, you can pick how you want and what you want to snip. I'm always a rectangle snip most of the time. You got free snip, a Windows snip, or a full screen snip. One of the things I just forgot to mention that I mentioned to my client that I use this for, when I'm doing a proposal, and let's say it's ABC Company, I go to their website, I look at their logo, I snip the logo and size it so it is the center of the front page of my proposal for who it's for, and I have their logo. It takes a few seconds, but makes an impression. And some clients are like, oh man, you got our logo there. Some clients don't even mention it, but I know it just shows a little more professionalism, a little more you took your time. It wasn't, just a boilerplate, even though most of it is, but you want to make a great impression. And I love doing that. And that's something I've been doing for a long time. So you can capture screenshots. You have the Win print screen keyboard shortcut. This goes into how to create a snipping tool shortcut, open snipping tool using a hotkey, snipping tool keyboard shortcuts, capture context menu using snipping tool, set time delays for screen captures, capture part of a screen using a hotkey, and disable white overlay. So here, let's go number 2. Win print screen keyboard in Windows. So if you click the Windows key in the print screen, it'll let you capture the screenshot as per your settings, and the image is automatically saved in your pictures folder. This is the one that after reading this, I did this today. How to create a snipping tool shortcut. You navigate to where the program is, and you right-click, send to desktop to create a shortcut. Then you open the shortcut, and in the shortcut key, highlight it, and you literally press the key. So if I hit the F5 key in shortcut, and then we apply it, anytime you press F5, the snipping tool comes up. So you don't have to go search for it and bring it up, or you don't even have to click on the shortcut. You can make it a hotkey. I use this so much for not just what I said for grabbing the graphic, but how about, there's a little video tutorial here, how about making annotations to your graphic? So if I'm doing documentation, I may grab a piece of the screen and then circle, highlight different things, make little notes and annotate in another color. You can really create tremendous documentation by taking advantage of this free utility that comes with Windows. And it's been there all along, and might as well take advantage of it and use it. There's a lot of third-party programs. Yes, they have some more features. I know Grabit, or a program I used to use back in the day. And there's no need. There's no need to spend any money. We have it right here. So check out the 3 links I'm going to have. The first link, again, is some tips and tricks. Now, Microsoft added the Snip and Sketch app to replace Snippet. I couldn't get into the Snip and Sketch. But I figured because it's there, we might as well make sure that I cover that. I use this, I might have used this once or twice. I really live in the old snipping tool. And how you invoke this when you're in Windows 10, the Windows key, the Shift key, and the letter S. That's what brings up the Snip and Sketch. And so I wanted to provide Livewire link on how to do this and how to use the Snip and Sketch, which it's pretty cool. There's, again, it's just like the snipping tool, only a lot more options. Now, how to keep the snipping tool instead of Snip and Sketch. See, this is for me. So you can copy the snipping tool from the System32 folder, but you have to copy the snippingtool.exe.mui file under Windows System32 English US. Create a new en-us folder on the location you want to save the snipping tool exe and paste that .exe.mui file instead of the new en-us folder. So there's a great forum with the exact instructions on how to do this, and I wanted to provide that because I think I did this. That's why I'm a holdout. I love the old photo viewer. I don't like the Windows 10 folder viewer. There's a lot of things I love about Windows 10. There's things I don't. And Windows 11 just continues to make changes. Let me tell you one of my pet peeves on setting up someone's new Windows 11 system. I hate the way you have to go through for the default apps. Windows 10 at least nailed it. When you go to settings and applications, I hate all of the options and how many steps it is to do the same thing but under Windows 11. Not happy with that. So when I find something that I really like, I want to hang on to it for as long as I can. And I know you are going to have listeners. You're going to have clients, customers that are in the same camp. They don't want to change something. That's why we had Classic Shell, because maybe they didn't like the new menu system. So want to provide tips and tricks and software utilities that can make this happen. And there's shows I've done on automating and making Windows 10 better accessible for you and the things you want. There's lots of great utilities out there, and you can search the Mike Tech Show website to, on Windows 10, and you're going to find all sorts of stuff and programs out there that you can run that can automate making that happen rather than have to go through a complex registry change. There's lots of programs to help automate all this. So as soon as I mentioned the snip and sketch, and I'm not a fan of it, I figured, ooh, how do you keep it? How do you maintain it? I wanted to make sure that that link is available. And they are the 3 snipping tool links for tonight's show. I have a lot of email and a follow-up. First, I want to talk about the problem I've had with with Office 365 and trying to install right beside it Visio Pro 2016. And I want to thank Wayne and I want to thank Keenan for sending me the links via WeTransfer. And I tried them both, gentlemen, and I replied to them the minute that I downloaded and ran the setup to install Office Visio Pro 2016, I get the following error. We found a problem. We're sorry. Microsoft Office Installer encountered a problem because you have these click-to-run installer-based Office programs installed on your computer. And then by itself, it reads Microsoft 365 EN-US for English US. It continues, Windows Installer and click-to-run editions of Office programs don't get along for this version. So you can only have one type installed at a time. Please try installing the click-to-run edition of Office instead or uninstall your other click-to-run based Office programs and try this installation again. No thank you, Microsoft. I have the Microsoft 365 through you, and I should be able to install a standalone version of another Office product. This is ridiculous. So a couple things I'm going to try, and we were talking about it in the pre-show. I have a test system in Pennsylvania with Office 2019, which is not click to run. At least I don't think it is. And I am going to try to install Office 2016 and see if I get an error. I'm going to keep this up till I get the right combination and report back to you. And I know there's a chart out there on Microsoft's site as to what will work with what. So I need to explore that and check that out. But thank you, everybody who tried to help me out with that. I appreciate it. So Austin sent me a link for the download for the 64-bit Windows 7, and I passed that on to Taz. So Austin, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right. Win 7 Pro images from Bob. Bob, I absolutely got a hold of these, so he wanted to let me know he still has and gave me a list of Windows 7 ISOs, and I could just email him back. He'll give them to me. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, here we go. Dan, I did not try this. if you have, okay, so in the enterprise environment, we have to add project and Visio using XML files. If you take your Office 365 setup file that you downloaded from Microsoft and run the following command, it should add Project Visio to your Office 365 install. I got to try this. Configuration, the Visio Pro. Let me know if this helps. Do you know, Dan, I forgot about this until now. I'm like looking at all my emails that I have. I did not try that. And that is something that is absolutely worth trying. So I will, especially since I know with just a little bit of aggravation, if something goes horribly wrong, I can uninstall Office and then reinstall it, and it works perfectly. And it doesn't impact all my settings and everything I've saved on. I got my Outlook with my add-ins and configured everything, because I got my Adobe add-in. I got my literally so many things configured within, 7 different email accounts, and, redoing Outlook from scratch is definitely something I really don't want to do. So knowing that I can just install it and it keeps everything, that's great. But Dan, you're next on my list. Wayne and Keenan, I am going to try your file, but on another system to see if it works with 2019. And with all these combinations, I will absolutely have something to report back. Dan sent me 4 XML files for adding Project Pro, Project Standard, Visio Pro, and Visio Standard. Dan, I really appreciate that. All right, jumping around here. Bill, who I read about the hard drive that was a spinner drive and that I would never do it. And he wrote back, I said I sometimes put in a spinning drive for backup, not for the OS or live data. Same as I would use an external USB drive. So I do not see how that would be similar to the last problem you had. No, it's not. And by the way, what I want everyone to have is 3 copies or more of data. Live, cloud backup, local backup. Bill, I couldn't agree with you more. If you got the room and you can add a big spinning drive inside, I would want to use like the Windows 10 to continue, or Windows 11, that continuous backup. So every time files are changed, boom, it's on another drive. Because if that fails, who cares? And I agree, that's a good use for a spinning drive. External backup, yes, but I want a better drive. I want a NAS-based drive, or, Western Digital Caviar Black or Gold. There's certain drives I want for my backup. And I think my 12 terabyte is an Iron Wolf external drive that I'm using for all my backups for this system that I'm using here. And then, of course, cloud backup. You want Magnus Box for all your cloud backups. So 3 backups. And I do have some clients with that scenario. So most of them 2. I always want that local backup that's a full image. And then I can always grab files from that quickly if they need it. Or, hey, look what happened. We had no other backup except Magnus Box online and did a complete successful restore when that spinning drive went bad. And that is my fault. I allowed that and I shouldn't have. And it's now a solid state drive. So any live data is going to be on a solid state drive. This is from Hilton, and he brings up a good point. He says, just a shot in the dark. I heard your recent show where you had a mechanical drive fail. You may be able to get into it enough to read the data if you run Steve Gibson's SpinRite on it. It has worked miracles for me repairing failed drives in the past. I have not used SpinRite for a long, long time. I've used it twice. Once it repaired a drive and I did get the data. Another one, it ruined the drive even further and was unable to fix it. So it was sort of mixed, and it was not your, I guess, newer drives. This was way back a long time ago. I own SpinRite. I have it. So we still have that drive. I still have SpinRite. Now we're way past. We've already, we have a great backup that got restored. No data was lost. But you bring up a very good point, Hilton, and I think this is a good exercise for my son in Pennsylvania. He has the drive. He can hook it up. He can run SpinRite and do this on our test system and play around with it and see what we get. We have absolutely nothing to lose, and I think that's a good learning process for my son and a good, hey, I'll report back. How did this, did it let us get any further in being able to read it? Did it repair it enough to be able to get in and get some data off it? So, Hilton, thank you for that reminder. It has been a long time since I investigated that. So that is one final email that I think this is a good reason to mention this to help you sell security to individual clients. If you know you have a client that has LinkedIn, make sure the month of February there was an incredible increased, a big uptake on LinkedIn phishing scams. So they look like LinkedIn, feels like LinkedIn, smells like LinkedIn, but it's not. It's a phishing scam. And you definitely want to talk to your clients, and you definitely want to be able to sell. This is a reason for the pro version or the premium version of your antivirus, your anti-ransomware, your security software. So this is a monthly email that I get from Malwarebytes, and sometimes there's little gems in there. So you definitely, when I was reading this, I was like, I definitely want to mention this for LinkedIn, because I've definitely seen this. There are so many phishing scams. The amount of phishing email that gets through all of your anti-spam or whatever you have, it makes it to my inbox for that particular email account. It's astounding how they get through, but they do. And our clients and people, they don't understand, and they will continue to click on them, and they will continue to get compromised, and that's what keeps us in business. But we want to educate them because we don't want them to go through that. So wanted to mention this. We have some interesting things tonight that you can share with your clients, help them, with the snippet, help them with that graphic that you're going to join up on Discord, and have that graphic to be able to show your client that, or email your client on why you're pushing for more complex passwords, and mention about the phishing scams with LinkedIn. And that's why we want better protection on their network, on their system, and be able to sell your services. Or if you're not selling the services and you're just listening here, hey, beef up your own security and what you're doing and your due diligence and making sure you don't click on that bad link. That is it for tonight's show. I want to thank everybody for listening and downloading. Remember, please support the sponsors, Instant House Call, Magnus Box, and then also an affiliate. I always have the link in the show notes. Fabs Auto Backup 7 Pro, the ultimate program for transferring your settings, your client settings, from one system to another. Love that program. And again, we use it all the time. That's it. Hope to see everybody here safe and sound next week. Bye-bye.